Hi, I'm Doug from Dynamic Computing and welcome to episode 180 of 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. Now, a few months back, 4 months back, I started doing a new series where I was going to try and use my Amiga 4000 as a daily driver as much as possible, meaning I'd be ignoring my PC over here and doing as much as I could do for my personal and business life on an actual Amiga. Well, the last issue is about the issues I had with my Amiga 4000 and my Invision MK3 video interface. Now, I got those issues resolved, and I started getting ready and working on episode 2 right away. And then I got distracted with other pretty and shiny things, as happens sometimes. Now, I have limited space in my office here. I had my Amiga 4000 out, and it was just taking up so much room because I had it in pieces. And then I ended up putting it away to do some shows on my Amiga 3000 and the little chip that replaces one of the chips in there. And that machine sat in my way for weeks. And I realized I had too many irons in the fire, just too much. And so I needed to simplify. So I took a fairly dramatic step and I put away all of my Commodore 64 stuff, all of my beautiful black custom Commodore 64 and drives and things like that. Just put it away. And I started rearranging things. And let me show you what I've done. Come with me. We'll take a peek. So in place of my Commodore 64, I'm going to be using my beautiful Commodore 128D. Now I have a lot of videos planned for this one. I've been working on a lot of stuff there. I've got my 1571 drive attached. I have a 1581 attached. I have a Gideon's Ultimate 1541-2. I got a nice Oki data printer. This thing has been getting a workout. And then over here, I'm keeping out my Mac SE30. I still have plans for that. She's a handsome little guy. And here I have an Atari 800 XL that is ready for duty. Just ignore the PS2 sitting next to it. That's something personal my son and I are doing. And then, of course, I'm always going to be keeping out my Atari 7800 and my Atari 5200 because I play those when I need just a quick pick up and play. But most of the other stuff I've put away. Amiga 1000 is there, a couple of VIC-20s, Commodore 64s coming out my ears, Atari 400, my Plus 4s. All of those are tucked away. I'm not even trying to keep them out and running for the time being. And that leaves my Amiga 4000 and 3000, and there's my Checkmate 1500 under it. I'm going to be getting a shelving system so I can actually keep the 4000 and 3000 plugged in and turned on and ready to go all the time, connected to this magnifying display, which I've shown in a couple of shows. It's got a DVI input, so I'll be able to convert the video display fine. I've got to keep my Amiga 500 out and ready to go because I have some shows planned for that. But getting back to the topic at hand, my Amiga 1200, which has been my main machine, the one I use quite often for years. Now this has a PiStorm in it, PiStorm Lite from Amiga Kit, and so she's got 350 or so megabytes of RAM in her innards here. She's got Wi-Fi set up, she's got retargetable graphics set up, and this is just an optimal machine to continue on my daily driver project. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get down to business here, as it were. One of the critical things with any computer here in 2025 is access to the internet. I mean, we really need it. But things have really changed in the past few decades since the Amiga was out here. The times of simple web pages, which was one of the hallmarks of the World Wide Web, it's just gone. Everything is just filled with pictures and video and audio and all kinds of garbage code that just bloats these websites and make them not function on iBrowse, which is one of the more popular web browsers on the Amiga. We just don't have the CPU power or the RAM to really handle all these new components of the web. And so I would say maybe 50% of websites work just fine. Something like Amiga World right here works perfectly good. You know, we can go in, we can browse the particular forums, we can read them, we can reply to them. All of that kind of stuff works fine. things like Google News, that works okay. Doing Google searches works okay. Again, maybe 50% of websites at least function on eyebrows, and that's okay. I'll use that quite a bit. Unfortunately, it chokes on things like Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Threads, all these social media sites that so many of us use. And now you may be thinking, you don't really need social media sites for a daily driver machine. But the truth is, that's how I communicate with a lot of people, both personally, in my business, and through 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. It's all social media. Now, Twitter used to have an Amiga client that worked pretty well. But the less we say about the travesty that Twitter has, or X has become, the better. Let's not talk about that one. Now, there is a Mastodon client for the Amiga, and of course Mastodon is kind of an open source federated version of some kind of Twitter. It works pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it, and we're going to take a closer look at that. It's called Amidon. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. Now, there is no Blue Sky client for the Amiga. Lots and lots of us have switched over to Blue Sky. But if I have my way, that may change very soon, and we're going to do a special episode on that very soon. But for now, let's talk about one of the most important things you can do on your Amiga, which is watch YouTube videos. Come with me. First and foremost, where would we be if we could not watch YouTube videos on our computers? Now, even right now, you're watching this on your phone or your PC or your Mac, something like that. All million of you that are watching right now. But what if I told you you could watch it on your Amiga? As long as you have a sufficiently powerful machine, and by that I mean a fast 68030, 040, 060, PyStorm, Vampire, anything like that. Now this awesome program was the idea of Michael Bergseth, but others have since contributed to it. And what it uses is it uses AGA Blaster, link to that right there, a video I did on that, to convert a YouTube video that you find into CDXL format, which our CDTV came out with, that allows you to play back really high quality videos on ECS machines if you really want, AGA machines, they look beautiful on AGA machines, or you can convert the video right into MPEG-1 format, which plays back with Riva, which is a video playback software that I've talked about in the past. Now the conversion, once you find a video, the conversion takes place on a back-end server, and it converts the file and then downloads right to your computer. But you can, in theory, set up some kind of Linux box, even if it's like a Raspberry Pi or maybe Ubuntu running under Windows 11, and you can have your own machine do the conversions. And I'm hoping that I can figure out how to do it and do a video on it, which would be kind of cool. So that way, it converts it even faster and sends it to your Amiga even faster. Now that'll be fun. Now the longest part of this process is downloading a 200 or 300 megabyte video from the internet onto your Amiga to watch it. It's not a real-time thing. But let's take a quick look at how the software works and a look at one of the videos I already downloaded. Come on, pop on my computer and let's see. Here we have the main AmiTube interface. AmiTube, you literally just install it from the LHA file you download. It doesn't really have any other dependencies besides needing an internet connection. From here, type in what you're looking for. Let's do Amigos Retro Gaming. I bet you guys know Bode and Aaron. I'm going to go ahead. It's starting the search, and it's going to come back with some hits. Let's take a look here. Okay, and after a moment, it takes a minute to find it. It finds 10 of their latest videos. Now, you can, of course, search for a specific video or even put a direct link right up in here directly to a specific video. I just did a generic search. Here's top 10 Amiga flight simulators. Okay, now click Load Preview, and what that does is that then goes out on the internet and it grabs the actual thumbnail for the video, which is kind of cool. Over here on the right, you'll see we can get it as an OCS CDXL file, 101 megabytes, an AGA CDXL file, 233 or 230 megabytes, a really high quality AGA Plus one at 575 megabytes, or an MPEG-1 video at 115 megabytes. These, as soon as we click it, it will start the conversion and it will download it to the computer. Now, just for laughs, we're going to do the AGA one, and maybe we'll come back and see how it works. Click on that. Where do we want to save it? And I've got a nice little directory here, docs, video, MPEG. And we're going to name it, let's see, we're going to do it top10.cdxl. Click OK. Now you see up at the top here, it's saying converting movie. After a moment, that conversion is going to be done and it's going to start downloading it right to my computer. And you can also see that the description, index, everything like that, that shows up right over here on the right, which is actually super cool. So let's wait for it to convert, and then we'll watch it download, and that will be really exciting. So it took several minutes to convert it, and again, this is converting it at a remote server somewhere in deep in Antarctica or wherever it is they have their servers hosted. I would say it took about 3 minutes or so. Yeah, probably about 3 minutes to convert it, and now it's downloading it, and it's downloading it at a whopping 127 kilobytes per second. And again, this is a 203 megabyte movie. This is going to take a while to download. So we're going to just go ahead and let it do its thing for a while. Let it download. And we're going to minimize that. But now, let's take a look at something that I've already downloaded. Now, what I use for playing back MPEG-1 videos is Riva. Riva's really nice. They even have an Apollo version for it for vampire cards. But I'm using the 68K version, and I'm using this thing called Riva GUI, which is just a nice little graphic user interface that lets you set some of the normal things that you'd have to change in the .info file. This should play it back on a nice window right here. Now this is one I downloaded earlier in MPEG. This is my CDTV video. Let's see what it looks like. You can see here it plays my little intro just fine. You should be able to hear it just fine too.
Hi, I'm Doug from Dynamic.
Look at that handsome devil. What a handsome guy. And you can see, even though I'm downloading in the background, my where to go here?
The beautiful
AmiTube is still downloading.
Commodore CDT.
Right here.
A viewer of mine, Leftover Beefcake,
that it doesn't have any issue playing this back right from my hard drive, right on my Amiga 1200. So you can sit here and you can move the video around when you're playing it back with retargetable graphics, do other things on the computer, no problem at all. Do you want to let the video play while you're running Art Department Professional? Sure, who cares? It can handle it just fine. It's an Amiga. So our little video that we downloaded from Amigos, Top 10 Amiga Flight Simulators in AGA CDXL format, finished. So we're going to go ahead and launch AGA Blaster. And we'll browse to my file here. There she is, Top 10 CDXL. And we'll see what she looks and sounds like.
Cinematic storytelling, and of course,
well, looky
the
there.
Complexity of a good flight sim. In the
Cool
80s and
intro.
90s, flight simulators were the first-person shooters of their day.
Now that's not quite.
That pushed hardware to its
That
limits.
should have gone that
So grab
CDXL
your
Plus.
Windows command
Would have been a
controller
higher
and aviator
resolution.
shades.
But this is pretty
Time to
cool
look back
for watching a
at the
YouTube
top 10
video.
Amiga flight sims. First up on our list is Flight Simulator 2.
Pretty
Some
nifty.
logic helmed by flight simulation pioneer
Yeah,
Bruce
not
Arthur,
bad.
had already made.
So AmiTube is pretty cool, isn't it? The ability to literally just download and view any YouTube video on any moderately accelerated Amiga, even ECS. Pretty nifty. But social media. We're all addicted to social media. You are, I am. It's just the way of things. In the real world, I need access to Facebook. I need access to my email. I need access to Blue Sky, Threads, maybe a little Instagram here and there. There are ways to do it that we're going to cover in a minute, but there's also some dedicated apps that really do a cool job. Now, one of them is called Amidon by our friend Midwan. Yes, the same Midwan that makes AmiBerry, the native Amiga app for Linux for running and emulating the Amiga and Linux. Awesome stuff, that AmiBerry. And awesome stuff, this Amidon. It's written in Hollywood. Hollywood's a programming language that allows you to program it and then compile it for different platforms. MorphOS, 68K, Amiga OS 4, PC, that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. But one of the limitations of Hollywood is you kind of need a higher end machine to use it. So again, 68030, 50 megahertz, 32 megs of RAM, you'll be okay. You really need an 040, 060, Vampire, PyStorm to really, really let this thing fly. It also has a couple of restrictions in that it really needs MUI 3.9 to work properly. It'll work with 3.8, it'll work with 4, it'll work with 5 version of MUI, but not quite as well. The HTML view is really picky with what it works with. So he says 3.9 is the best. Mine has a little issue that you'll see here where it will not display images. It's supposed to display images. Mine doesn't. So it's basically just text-based, but it works. Come on over, let's take a look. Amidon, again, written in Hollywood. Takes a few seconds to launch, even on my PyStorm. Maybe 5-6 seconds on a PyStorm. A little slower on some other machines. Basically what you have here is the ability to log into your Mastodon account right up here, mastodon.social, which is mine. Then you put your login information in, and then you can explore Mastodon. In this case, I'm going to look at my notifications, see what notifications I have. Poon Bole favorited my post. Okay, Dan Sanderson, hey Dan, he's a good buddy of mine, favorited my post. So now we can click on these, and it's supposed to be displaying an image up here, but it's not. Got to test and see if the Amidon client from the awesome Midwan publishes. Okay, posting this from my Amiga 1200 as a test. Let's add a pic too for good measure. And that actually worked beautifully. It posted up on there. Oh, Graham Cowie, he's a great guy. Look at all these nice people here. Now, you can also look at your timeline. Now, for some reason, it's not really bringing up my home timeline. I got to talk to Midwan about that and find out why it's not bringing up my my home timeline of people that I follow. But it does bring in stuff up here, and all these things you can favorite, you can reply to. Here's some things that I had favorited in the past. Look, Amiga Love, Amiga 1000, Shameless Gluttony. Now, honestly, it's supposed to be bringing up images. Mine isn't, but just the fact that I can get on Mastodon and do what I need to do. Hey, Peter Fletcher and Sanxian, two of my favorite people. I've been reporting Doug for years for crimes against Atari. The Amiga-loving cabal that runs the internet protects him. Yeah, Pete, it does. Now, Amidon has some pretty stringent requirements as far as MUI. Again, MUI 3.9 you need on there. I'll put a link in the description for that. There's also several different MUI goodies that you need at the same time. Let's take a look. So for MUI we need, let's see, code set 6.22, GUI graphics lib, better string, HTML view, text editor, render lib. So there's a couple of MUI classes that you need to add manually. I'll also try and link all those in the description, and they are going to be linked to the Amidon GitHub, which has links to all of this stuff. It's not hard to install. You literally decompress these MUI classes and either run their installer, or if they don't have an installer, just move it over to the MUI libs directory. You're golden. Everything works just fine. So where does that leave us with all the other internet sites that we want to use? iBrowse just doesn't cut it for a lot of sites, and if there's not a dedicated app for a particular social media site, you're not going to be able to access it. Well, 2 years ago, iBrowse could handle Gmail just fine, okay? It worked fine. 6 months ago, you could go to m.facebook.com, mobile Facebook. iBrowse handled it fine. Post things, read things, look at pictures, upload things. Totally broken now. Gmail has moved and is moving to an OAuth format, even with IMAP mail. It still supports IMAP, but it's one of those where when you log into Thunderbird or Outlook, it pops up a web-based window, says, hey, log into Gmail, and that's the only way it works. No longer can you put in a username and password for IMAP. So most accounts won't even work with simple mail anymore. I mean, I looked around to set up an email account that still worked with basic SMTP and basic IMAP, basic POP3. They're hard to find, really hard to find. Well, enter AmiFox. Now this is worked on by the same crew that did AmiTube, so you know it's quality. Kind of works like a proxy server in a way, except the server is sending you actual static images of web pages, literal static PNG files of web pages. And all the pictures in those web pages are hot linked. So if you've got a link or a text field or something like that, and you click on it with your Amiga mouse, sends a command to the server responds, sends back the appropriate picture. Not as fast as a true dedicated web browser, but it works and it's really cool. Let's take a look at what Google does when we use Google on here. So you see, I've got Google on here, www.google.com on AmiFox. It's loaded it. Now look down here in the lower left-hand corner. See that? That is the AmiFox program monitoring where my mouse is in the picture so it knows where I'm going. When I want to type something into Google, I click the search field. It says loading page. Now I can send text to it. So I'm going to do Amiga Bill. We all know and love Amiga Bill. And, whoops, I hit the wrong button. I hit send. And after a few seconds, there's Amiga Bill. All right. We're going to go ahead and search for him now that the text is in the field. Oh, I'm not a robot. Am I? Oh, look at this. It's making me do. It's making me do a CAPTCHA. I love it. Okay, but let's prove that it works. So I click on a bicycle. Okay, great. Now we'll click on another bicycle. And we'll click on another bicycle. Oh, I just love CAPTCHA. Oh, it's just great. Yeah. Oh, a bus now. Now let's click on these bicycles. This is not a complete waste of time, CAPTCHA. No. It is fun, though. All right, no more bicycles. Verify that I am who I am. But the fact that CAPTCHA works on this is really cool. Hey, look at it, it's Bill. Hey, Bill, how you doing? Here's Amiga Bill's Patreon. Here's Amiga Bill on Twitch. Let's take a look at Amiga Bill on Twitch. This is an actual hot link. Look at that on the bottom. When I go over it, it's just a PNG picture. This is a picture. It shows me the actual link. I click on that. It goes back out to the server, and in a few seconds, it's going to return me to Amiga Bill's Twitch page. Now, can I watch Amiga Bill streaming on Twitch? No, that's not going to work. You're also not going to be able to watch videos on here. See, it's trying to play a video of Amiga Bill right now, and that's not going to work. But all of these over here, Friends of Amiga Bill, you can click on those. It'll load those up. Twitch was a bad choice because it does everything with videos running in the background. But yeah, here you go. See, we've got Rocket League on here. Let's go to another website. We're going to go up here to bookmarks. We're going to go to my Facebook. I've already made a bookmark of Facebook. So now it's going to load facebook.com. Hey, log in. When I click the field here, it asks me for my username, which is my old username. And then to ask me for my password, and I'm going to block this out so you guys can't see my password. Alright, so now I've put in my password, and it's asking me for two-factor authentication, which is great. Someone is trying to log in. Yes, it's me. I'm doing this on my phone, telling it on my phone that this is okay. Now we'll reload the page, and it should get me right into Facebook. And look at this. We're literally on Facebook on the Amiga. And we can go down here and browse through my news, my feed. Oh look, somebody, who's this? Somebody named Kevin Quattro. I've never heard of this one. Well, here's a strange one. My first instinct is to blame Workbench 3.2. Well, 3.2 and Workbench are great and bring a lot to the table. I don't know what else could cause this to happen. Okay, and here I can like it, and you'll see once I like it, it reloads the page and shows my like, and I can make a comment on it. Now, when I make a comment, answer is Douglas Compton. Now you notice up here I could put a little type right in here, or I could click these three dots and make a big one. And I'm going to say, hey Kevin, I am not really answering your question, but instead using you as a guinea pig to test AmiFox for my latest video. How does it feel to be used like this? Now I'll send the text, and it literally will post it right on Facebook. Hey Kevin, I'm not really answering your question, but instead using you as a guinea pig to test AmiFox for my latest video. How does it feel to be used by this? And I fully expect Kevin to respond to me. He'll probably Facebook message me in 5 minutes laughing at me. But you can go to all your different groups here. Let's see, let's go to a group. And hey, let's go to Commodore Computer Central. That's a good group. And here's some things that are up on Commodore Computer Central today. Always a great website. History of Mastertronic. And again, I can comment on any of this stuff, and it actually functions. After 2 years of work, I've successfully restored a 40-year-old Commodore 64 BBS. It has turned into a proper feature-length film, so grab some snacks and join me in the journey. Now, I could click on this YouTube link, and it is not going to do anything. But here's something that it probably could do. If I went ahead and put this link right here into AmiTube, it's going to go right to this video and download it, which is actually kind of cool. You know what? Let's do that. Let's click the link and see what happens. Nah, didn't really do anything. It did not follow the link, so well, I'll have to ask the guys and see what that does. Now, here's another awesome use for AmiFox. bsky.app takes you right to Blue Sky. Log in with your username and password, and you can get right on here, onto Blue Sky, right on your Amiga. Oh look, and the onion says, Amazon unveils new Amazon Basics Human Infant. That sounds good. I may order one of those. We can scroll down and see what else is in my feed today. Let's see. There's 48K RAM. There's Jamie Orlando. There's Commodore Blog. All good buddies. Let's go ahead and post something new on here. So if we want to post something new, we can just go to our little post button right here. And in a second, it should come up and let me type in a nice little message. What's up? Okay. We're going to, instead of typing in the little text field here, we're going to go with a big text field. It says, this is just Douglas creating a post right in the middle of filming my latest Amiga as a daily driver video. Please carry on and look for the video on YouTube later today. So we're going to go ahead and send that as text there. Now, I'm not going to be able to upload a picture or a video from here because it's not going to see my hard drives on my Amiga. At least I don't think it will. Never actually tried it. Let's see what happens when we tell it we want to attach a picture. Maybe it'll explode. Maybe it will look at my hard drive on my computer. I really don't know what it will do. Nothing. Doesn't come up with anything. But I think we can probably load a GIF image. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah. Now we're going to go ahead and look up a funny little GIF here. We're going to click search. And we're going to type in carry on. See what kind of GIFs we can add to this post. So it's not going to pull things. Let's see, how about, I don't know what GIF this is, but we're going to use it. There we go. Now we're going to post it. And now this will appear right on my page on Blue Sky, which all of you should follow, by the way. Now, just so you're aware, sometimes when you post something like this, it's going to go ahead and Blue Sky's going to say uploading the link or whatever that is, and then it just turns into a static picture, and you just have to click reload to show that it's actually loaded here. Go down. Now here's the most important one to me, and this is getting into my email. It's been a real challenge finding something that will actually get me into my actual email. And it works. Look at this. I'm in Gmail. It just logged me right in. I was able to answer the two-factor authentication right on my phone. Now I can go in to all of these exciting emails, including this Google security alert telling me I just logged in. Hey, fantastic. So you can read your emails. You can create new ones. So I'm going to write an email to myself. And we'll write it to... let's see. Douglas at, let's do dctechaz@gmail.com. We're going to put that in the to field. Yay, there I am. And we're going to go, subject is, how did you get so darn handsome? And we're going to send that. And now let's go into the subject field, or into the body of the email. We're going to use our 3 dots and erase what we'd already typed. Hello, Doug. Me and the guys were discussing how you got so handsome. Is it just natural? From Doug. All right, so now I'm going to send that text. That's going to show up in the body of the email. Hey, there it is, and send. Now my dctechaz@gmail.com will receive that message. No problem at all. I can scroll through and read all my messages, respond to them. Again, you're not going to be able to download anything. You're not going to be able to upload anything. So there are some restrictions, but you can absolutely use this Gmail now. It actually functions. You can use it for your Outlook accounts. You can use it for Proton Mail. Any kind of web-based email, you're going to actually be able to go in and use it to a reasonable extent on your Amiga. I'd say that's pretty cool. Now there's one thing that I've noticed. It works with most websites, but if I try to go to, let's see, www.twitter.com, well, that causes a big problem because this is all that I get. I don't know what it means, but every time I try to go to Twitter on here, I just get Indy punching a Nazi. Maybe there's some subtle message in there someplace. Not sure though. By default, when you use AmiFox, it's going to go to a public server in another country to process the website and send back the image. And you may be thinking, I'm going to hesitate doing that because if I have to send personal information like usernames and passwords, I don't want to go into some public server and then having my information on some public server. And I totally agree. But you notice, I was logged into Blue Sky, Facebook, Gmail. I didn't worry about it a bit. And why is that? It's because it takes like 5 minutes to set up your own WRP server on your Linux machine, your Mac OS machine, your PC. Super duper easy. Nothing to it. All you have to do is download the particular WRP file. And I'll have the link in the description. And launch it. In my case, you can launch it from a command prompt, or I created a little batch file. You'll launch the program. It starts the server on your computer. In my case, on my PC. Then you tell your Amiga, in the information file, you go in and you say, okay, here's the server I want you to use to handle my files. And it talks to your computer sitting right next to it. Your computer's processing all the files. Take a look and see, it's really cool. So over here on the PC, I've got this little batch file down here that I launch to run the software. Look how simple this little batch file is. We're going to it's telling it where the WRP program is, and I said -t PNG for it to use PNG files instead of like JPEG files to send to the Amiga. When I launch it, opens up a command prompt, and it says starting WRP HTTP. Blah. It starts the server. Now, when we go back to AmiFox over here, let's go ahead and go to a website. Let's go to AmigaLove.com. Watch what happens on the PC screen when I hit enter. It's capturing the request for AmigaLove.com. Now it should be loading the page here in a minute. How funny. So I wanted to demo this with Eric's beautiful AmigaLove.com website, and it's literally down. I picked a website that's literally down. I got to send Eric a message and tell him his site is down. Let's try a different one. We're going to go to AmigaKit.com. So now take a look over on the PC side over here as it resolves AmigaKit and sends the web page back to us. It's captured the image, it's requesting the PNG file, sends it back to the Amiga. Look at that, AmigaKit.com. And now watch what happens on the server screen as I scroll over these different things. It's actually communicating in real time with my PC right next to it and telling me where the mouse pointer is. When I click it, it goes and it grabs that image. It says it's going to the accelerator site. It's requested the image, sent it over to the Amiga. That is cool. And that's why here you can more freely use your own personal information because your own computer is acting as the server. And it's a little faster as it is. Pretty cool, huh? Shop at Amiga Kit, everybody. So now I can get my YouTube fix, no problem at all. I can access my email. I can access all my social media on my Amiga 1200 daily driver machine. This was a big hurdle to overcome, and it took me some time to find the right pieces that would all fit together nicely. But now that I've found them, they're working really well, and I can get done what I need to get done on my Amiga 1200. Now, don't expect all this stuff to run on an unexpanded Amiga 1200. I'm sorry, an Amiga 500. It's just not going to happen. But if you're serious about using your Amiga as a daily driver, you're going to get a more powerful machine anyways. You're going to upgrade your machine. I'd say bare bones entry for even trying this stuff would be 68030 with 32 megs of RAM. Even then, some things will be a little bit sluggish. The faster the better. Retargetable graphics, really, really helpful and a lot of fun. Most Amiga software, forget games. We're not talking about games. Most Amiga software will probably work with retargetable graphics. It's amazing. 16 color ECS, it's okay. 256 color AGA looks good, a bit sluggish. Go RTG if you can. Now with an Apollo accelerator or a PyStorm, you have all the power you need. This thing, it's all the power I'm going to need on here. 68040 or 68060 in a big box Amiga. Also, plenty of juice. Good stuff. So, with the internet and social media covered here, where do we go next with my daily driver project? Well, productivity software, of course. And if you guys know me, you know I have this weird like of productivity software on old machines. It's a crazy thing. There are words to be processed. There are sheets to be spreaded. There are just data to be based and desktops to be published. And we can do all of that on an Amiga, no problem at all. We already know the Amiga kicks butt and takes names in the graphic department, so we're not even going to cover that. Yeah, if I wanted to do professional graphics, you guys know this thing can handle it. But next time we're going to talk about the productivity software. Thanks to my fantastic patrons who support me. I really do appreciate it. You can see all my friends' names scrolling over this lovely ham6 image of a Nazi being punched in the face, which is what needs to happen to all of them. If you want to join in and help this channel, pop on over to patreon.com/10mark and sign up for as little as $2 a month. Thanks everyone, I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Really appreciate everything you guys do. Please like and subscribe. It helps a tremendous amount. I'm well on my way to 10,000 subscribers. I think I should probably get there within 3 or 4 months. Please fill the comments with all the cool things you use your Amiga for, whether it's for a daily driver or just for, still doing it for professional business or whatnot. I'd love to hear from you what you use on your Amiga. And give me some ideas what to use later in the Daily Driver series. Follow me on all the socials, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, Threads. I'll likely respond to you right from my Amiga too if you contact me there. But until next time, this is Doug from 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast, signing out. I guess my Amiga's over there.